Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, Big Funk Thinker, right? Out here in the lab. Well, I do what I do. Today I got a fat lip. I woke up and a little jaw a little swollen, so I look a little lopsided. That's what it is. But I'm with my man, Ray Higgins. I'm going to do what I do for you. I'm on my hospital bed like my man did. I'm going to get my message out. I got a good one for you today. So get ready. Let's go. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. Message is story for life. I give life lessons, sometimes from the book, sometimes from the dome. Today, we're going to the book. Oh, we about to have some fun. So, yeah, heads up. Right thinking. Excuse me. Right thinking. Sorry about that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm here. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on. Okay? And that is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinker's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to attain your goals of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's my mission that I'm on, and I want all right thinkers. The goal is to have all right thinkers know thyself. My mission is just that, and I'm on it. Let's go. Do you know you? When I get done, if you follow me, you will. That's my goal. Now, a person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. You teach them. That's what I do. And I do. And you stay tuned. I got you, and I appreciate you too. A person, excuse me, who knows not and believes that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is asleep spiritually. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons, they reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And to my eye, be true. I'm sitting here today, I've been in my mysteries of my eye and philosophical wisdom, knowledge of what she offers. So I've been studying her, and for some reason, she put it down the way my right thinkers should be understanding. So I'm gonna follow her lead. We're gonna do today, right thinkers. Let's talk about right thinkers are spiritual aspirants on the path of wisdom to what? Immortality and enlightenment. The whole deal is again to know thyself. When we study some more, my girl Isis that they call it, but she has the right idea as a student. She's the best student. Okay. Now, let's start out with a spiritual aspirant who practiced this teachings, right? In the philosophy, that all existence is essentially made up of the same essence, God, the one, and has the power to reveal the secrets of nature and to remove the illusions of life. What you think is real is not real. When you get knowledge of self, you understand what that means. So also, watch this. For one who has discovered the essence of nature, aka it ceases to what exists as such only in the higher nature remains. When you rise above your lower nature, when you become enlightened, when you know thyself, you'll be a better person. There, and once you do that, watch this. There is no going back to the state of ignorance. I haven't known of anybody who got enlightened and went back to being ignorant. Now, I know people who got saved into the church organization and backslid into what they was doing. That's two different things. Understand that. That's why I'm gonna make the difference. When you become spiritually enlightened, you're not going back that way. Quick lesson: the mouse in the maze. They put him in the maze, and when he go to get the cheese, he keep that route. When the route get blocked off, he take a different route. But if he take a route and he gets shocked on that route, no matter how many routes you stop, he will never go back the same way. So that's the concept of not going back to being ignorant. I want to just punch that in right quick. All right, now check this out. There is no going back to the state of ignorance once the veil of nature has been lifted. That's the veil of what? Ignorance. We see life through these eyes. When you open that third eye, you see the veil of ignorance being lifted, so to speak. That's the concept. I'm just trying to give you a heads up. Follow along. Now, discovering God's true nature means what? Seeing God where? everywhere and in all things. Just saying. Now, through the process of practicing right thinking philosophy, these spiritual teachings, a person's serpent power, here we go, I just gave a lesson about that. Well, what? Serpent power if your life force energy that's inside you. They put it as two serpents going up, twin serpents, Aset and Nephthys, okay? The twin sisters from Isis, and you know as Nephthys, but that's what they are. And watch this, is aroused. Remember, I tell you, the Kundalini is waiting to be aroused by what? Your righteous living, good deeds. This is why people live right and do right. Why? Because there's some benefits in it. Sorry about that. This power disables, here you go, disables what? The illusionness of the world and the negativity of one's own ego's mind. Negativity and egoism drives people to what? Hold on to the what? Illusions of the world, which prevent them from discovering the true essence of the divine. The serpent power energy allows a person to what? Consciousness, to become conscious, to go beyond the illusionness of the world, carrying it to unite with the very source of consciousness beyond thoughts, individuality, and mainly the ego self. Meaning you have to raise your conscious level out of the me, I, ego state of mind, raise it to become spiritually enlightened, to understand you and God are one. My favorite phrase. Now, they did the concept of, I said, forming a serpent to bite Ra, to poison him, so she can get the name of him from him. So, fellas, women, you gotta be careful. Now, let's just use the example. I'm just saying. Watch this. Now, the poison of the relative aspect of Ra is just used as a metaphor that's relating to what? The poisoning of what? The illusionary world. This world. She poisoned him so he wouldn't present this to her. She knew better than that. Watch this. The relative form of Ra in time and space, right now in duality, is what? An illusion. Why? Because it's only a reflection of the absolute. That's why. This is why I said, watch this, needed to what? Discover the hidden. She taught Netta, right thinking philosophy, semi-Tawi, all teach you the hidden messages and information that help you become conscious and understand the true meaning of things. Watch this. Now, this is why I said needed to discover what? The hidden secret name. Okay? The outer name of God, that is Ra. Everybody know that. Okay? Ra. Okay. It is not the true name, but only the name of God in time and space. Bam. He's only named because that's the vicinity. That's the concept that we have of him. Watch this. When God is discovered, here you go, in the transcendental essence, the name is what? Unutterable and transcendental, and can only be known, listen, we went to this lesson before, this is part of the lesson, can only be known, experienced where? In the heart. Bam. This is what they call the absolute name of the divine self. It lies in it. Oh, I love that concept. Watch this. Which transcends all the names and forms of religious and secular concepts. Thus, the deeper meaning of the poisoning of Ra symbolizes what? The poisoning of the belief that the world was, the world's, that the world, deeper meaning of the poisoning of Ra symbolizes the poisoning of the belief that the world, with its names and forms, is an abiding reality, meaning he's in his creation, alias Het Haru. That means he lives in the creation. But they're telling you here, when this poison occurs, watch this, through what? Practice of reflection on the wisdom teachings and by living what? Life dispassionately. Discernment teaches dispassionate. Why? Take your emotion out of the situation and just be logical and reasonable, like my man Spock from Star Trek. Watch this. Now, when you live life dispassionately and detached from the objects and the people, no emotional ties, one is able to what? Kill the world and discover the truth which sustains it. This is also known as the unveiling of the goddess. With enlightened concepts, with spiritual enlightenment and becoming conscious of your higher self, you will see unveiling of Isis. Why? That's the veil of ignorance, delusion of this world. You got to have this, you need that, you want this. All illusionary. That's the concept. Okay, here you go. Where we at? Down here. Next one. Therefore, watch this. The uniting of one's own mind with what? The cosmic mind. You see me pointing up. Okay. The self mind, meaning the movement away from what? Dualistic thinking in the world, moving closer to what? The understanding of what? Oneness, which underlies all creation, allows the mind to what? Poison or undermine or sabotage what? The power of the illusion of the world. If you're egotistical, if all you see is all you want is this, you can get that. You can have that. It just won't get you to the next level. We had a thing called the afterlife for a reason. Okay? The illusions of dualistic and ignorant thinking is that God has a particular form, again, idolatry, and that everything in creation is separate from everything else, wrong again. Just as waves in the ocean are all rooted in what? One ocean. We're all part of the ocean, metaphorically. And just as your mental thoughts are rooted where? In your own single mind, you have a world in your own mind. Every object in this universe is what? Rooted in one sustaining essence, the conscious of Almighty, aka God, the Supreme One, whatever you want to call him. Again, all the names don't mean different. It's the attributes and understanding what it represents, what it means. A spiritual aspirant. That's what right thinkers are. Watch this. You must learn to see the world and the ego as what? Illusions. I get excited. Then you will be you would be in position to what? Discover their dreamlike qualities. The Native Americans, the Aborigines, they think that the real world is when we go to sleep and let our mind take over. That's what we call the dream world, but to them, that's the real world. You get 1/3 of your life, you spend sleeping. 2/3 you spend awake and doing whatever you want to do. So without that 1/3, that's a problem. So it's something to that concept. And watch this. The more a person affirms that the ego is real, watch this, and that it can be satisfied by what? Acquiring wealth and fulfillment of the egoistic desires and pleasures, fortune, fame, women, all this stuff. Okay, the more it affects appear real to the mind. Again, he started early in life getting things that he wanted, using people where he wanted, and continued. So he didn't have to change. If you're successful on the third level of your life, you ain't trying to go no higher. Simple as that. So they're not going to learn nothing. Leave them be and let them deal with that. Why? That's only what's going to happen. However, watch this. No matter how intense a person's ego become, or how wealthy and famous or powerful a person becomes, remember, death is always looming in the shadows. So because you got all this stuff, you want to live and enjoy it. Billionaires are now putting their conscious in a robot avatar body so they can live forever and enjoy their money. If all you live for is the pleasures and joys of having things like that, the afterlife ain't for you. Okay. Watch this. This in itself this in itself points to the what? Illusionariness of the ego. That which is finite cannot be real. Therefore, the ego and the world are like the personality we become when having what? A dream. The world we experience when awake is like the world we experience when asleep. And having a dream, they are both illusionary. A spiritual aspect, what I think is all, you must learn to what? Develop such a powerful intellect, right thinking, that you will be able to what? Peer through the illusionariness, the concepts and beliefs of the mind. This movement is what ultimately leads to what? Spiritual enlightenment. All I'm trying to get you to understand is there's things that you have to do to become who you want to be. And if you understand and pay attention, you can reach the level of spiritual enlightenment by practicing and living a virtuous and righteous lifestyle on a day-to-day basis. It's not nothing special, ain't nothing fancy, nothing. Oh, you got to no. Everybody has their own way to do it. Me and my pastor are God-fearing men. He do what he do, I do what I do. We both get blessed in the same manner. Why? Because he get his way, I get mine my way. But we still serving the Almighty. Let me wrap this up. I think that should be it. I'll be back again. I love these quick lessons. Hope I didn't take up too much time. I hope you got the lesson. That's what I'm getting. Lessons that you can learn, implement them, and use them. They work. Trust me. I'll be back.